Hi everybody, welcome to Fit for Life. Today we're going to be doing things a little different. We're going to be using 2 hand weights. So if you have a couple of those at home, go get them. If you don't have weights, not a big deal. You can use water bottles, you can use soup cans, you can use anything that has a little bit of a weight to it. These guys are 3 pounds, so they're really not too much. So go grab something, come on back, and we're going to get warmed up. Okay. Get those out of the way. Let's start out with our warm-up. So keep in mind that you're doing these exercises at your own risk, and as usual, the Aspen Primary Care Network is not liable for any damages or injuries that may be incurred during participation in this video. So please make sure you're feeling good, you're feeling safe, you're working at your own pace. If you have difficulties with anything, don't worry about just sitting down and waiting until the next exercise. I do try to give a lot of modifications to make things easier or harder. So make sure you're working at your own pace and you feel safe and comfortable throughout the exercises. So let's pick up our pace with our march here. And we're just getting those joints lubricated, feeling our temperature come up a little bit. Starting to feel that breath a little bit. Get the arms involved. Here, we've got good appropriate footwear on and staying safe even while we're exercising in our own homes. For those of you who it's your first time, my name is Anna. I'm a kinesiologist, exercise specialist for the Aspen Primary Care Network. This Fit for Life class we used to run in person here in Westlock, but due to current circumstances, we're doing our best to keep moving while we can't get together in person. All right, let's switch to our polka. Forward. Light on the toes. Feeling that temperature start to rise. I'm going to try and make sure I stick to decent time today. I try to make these videos around the 35 to 40 minute mark. Sometimes I go a little longer. You guys will have to bear with me here. Okay, nice polka. All right. Light on our toes. And let's do our hip swings. Try and make sure I'm not kicking my wall here. Okay. Feeling how we're loosening up through the hip and how that stabilizing leg has to do a little bit of work there. Good job. Switch to the other side. Try not to be kicking anything in your house here. Just loosening up. A warm-up should be just that. We're not doing anything too crazy. We're not getting ready for a football game. We are just going to be doing some gentle strength. Keep everybody feeling their best, even while we're not able to get together. Right? All right. Do our arm circles. Starting small. Nice small circles. Getting bigger. Getting bigger. Good job. And getting smaller again. And switching directions. Warming up those shoulders. Getting bigger. Okay, nice and big. And getting smaller again. All right. Give your shoulders a little bit of a wiggle here. and squeeze them back and down. A couple times doing that, back and down. And again, back and down. All right, so our first exercise, we are going to jump right into using our weights here. Our first exercise is a squat with curl and press. So we've had a lot of practice so far doing our chair squats, and we're going to use that. This time we're going to have a weight, and you can either use both weights or you can just use one weight. All right, and I'm actually just going to use the one weight here and demonstrate for you guys. My feet are a little wider than hip width apart, and I'm aiming for this seat or the chair with my tush. All right, so we're going to hold that weight in front of us. We're going to squat, just touch, and curl and press. And coming down to squat, curl, press. All right, squat, curl, press. Making sure you're still aiming for the chair with your tush. And if you're not comfortable going down so far, just do a quarter squat. That's fine. Making sure that we stand up again with our hips coming up all the way. All right, I'm going to change to side view here so you guys can see me. Still, and squat, curl, press. Now I want you to make sure that that weight isn't pulling you forward. Okay, try to just let it come down nicely. You're just straightening the arms. You're still doing, you're not hinging with that. You see what happens when I do that? I'm not doing that. That's going to hurt my back. Just straightening the arms, coming and press. Straight, curl, press. And squat, curl, press. Let's do a couple more. And last one. And good job. Okay, wonderful. Hope you guys can see my little board here. Hopefully it doesn't fall over today. We're going to do helicopters next. So you want to have two weights in your hands. Now, if you don't have weights at home, you can do these with no weights as well. But I do encourage you to find something to hold on to. Like I said, even water bottles or something like that can be really easy to use for this. So we're going to do helicopters. This is shoulder work. Keep your shoulders back and down nicely. We're going to come to the front, side, and down. And side, front, and down. So we're kind of doing a little reverse pattern here. Side, front, down. Up, side, down. Side, front, down. Remember to go slow and controlled. And while I'm here, I'm making sure that my posture is still good. I'm not hoisting this weight anywhere, all right? If I start to do this, where I'm kind of hoisting that up, let's drop to a lighter weight. And be careful with this one. This is a lot of working through the shoulders, and you can hurt yourself if you have too heavy of a weight. We're not going above that 90 degrees horizontal. Let's do the last one here, and front and down. Good job. Okay, we're going to put our weights down for our next one. It's going to be a little bit of hip work. This one is called the fire hydrant. I don't know if we've done it yet or not, but it's exactly what it sounds like. So we're going to come into a tabletop position on our chair here. You can see my back is nice and straight. You're going to balance on one leg, bend the other knee, again keeping that back straight, and without twisting through your back, you're going to bring that knee up to the side and coming on back. Nice hip work here. We're staying good and strong through our back. Feel how that balancing leg has to do some work. Nice fire hydrant here. Okay. just gonna come to the side so you guys see me here. We're coming out to the side and the back stays really nice and straight. Keep going. We're going till we feel a little bit of that burn. And then we try to do a couple more. If you need to take a break, that's okay. And good. We come to the other side so you guys get a better view here. We're going to do the other side now. Coming into our tabletop, bending at the knee, and keeping very flat through the back. You're going to come out. I can definitely feel that I don't have as good of range on this side. So just go to where you're comfortable and slowly come back down. You might not get as far on one side as you did on the other, but I don't want to see this twisting thing happen, okay? We are nice and controlled and just trying to stay flat through those hips. All right, feel that start to burn a little. We should feel it on our balancing leg also. Working these external rotators in the hip. Really good for us. Couple more. And good. All right, feeling good. Grab a drink of water if you need. Next one, we're gonna grab our weights again. Make sure I'm on track with things here. We're gonna do shoulder rotations. So we're going to start with our weights at 90 degrees. My elbows are here at 90 degrees. And we're going to first bring, let me think here, those elbows are gonna come out to the side and then rotating up. And then flat and come on down. And we are bringing elbows out, weights up, weights down, elbows in. Everything is staying very nice here, and up, and back down, and in. Okay, really working some of these more finicky rotation muscles. Those rotator cuffs can be a real pain. And if you have rotator cuff injury, be careful with these. You might want to try doing them without a weight even and see how you do. All very slow and controlled. All right. We should start to feel that burn. And we're going to do a couple more. Coming out, rotating up, slowly back down, and slowly in. Last one, rotating up and down and back in. Good job. Okay, next we're going to do a one-leg deadlift. So you can do these without a weight, but I do challenge you to use a weight. And we're going to use your chair for balance here, but this is going to be where we kind of do teapots. So I'm going to actually send my chair to the side so you can see me better here. I'm going to be holding the weight in one hand. I'm going to be holding onto the chair, or you can put your hand on your hip if you want. And we're going to be bringing this leg back. Nice squeeze in through the glute here. And we're going to be tipping down and coming on back up. And coming down and coming on back up. This should not be hurting my back. All right. And we're just bringing that weight or your water bottle or whatever you're using at home. See if you can get down so far as to just touch it on the ground. And if you can't get it that far down, that's okay. If you're only coming to here and you're coming on back up, that's fine. But feel how much work this standing leg is doing. Stand all the way up. All right. Make sure your hips are coming nicely forward. All right. A few more. Feel that burn through your stabilizer. And good. Okay. I'm going to do the other side. You guys can see see here how my stabilizing leg has to stand nicely. It's okay to be a little soft through this knee, all right? The other leg is going to be nice and straight. So I'm going to come down and up all the way. Down and up. Make sure your hips are staying pointing forward and we're not twisting through the back at all. Okay? And coming on up. And down and up. Feel the work going on in through this leg here. Okay? This is a one leg, straight leg deadlift. And it's kind of modified a little bit here, but that's okay. All right, couple more. Feel that burn, feel that work. I can feel how tight I am through these muscles here. And last one. Good job. Okay, next one we're going to do what's called a bent over row. I'm just going to check in on my board here to make sure that's what I put on there. Bent over row. So we're going to get back into this tabletop position. We're using one weight here. Tabletop position. And we are bringing that weight back and coming on down. So it's kind of this motion of maybe sawing through a log almost. All right, and I want you to think about squeezing that shoulder blade back while you're here. Squeeze that back. Don't just think about the arm movement. Think about what's going on in through your shoulder blade. Squeeze the shoulder blade back. Nice and slow and controlled. And we're doing nice work through the back here by squeezing that shoulder blade. Okay, if that hurts your hand, you can always balance on your fist if you need to, or you can modify using the back of your chair as well. All right, but we want that weight to be fairly low. Okay, and squeeze that shoulder blade. Okay, let's do the other side. Nice tabletop position. That weight is hanging straight down, and we're going to squeeze back through the shoulder blade. Okay. Slow and controlled. This is a full arm movement. We're going to do a similar exercise that just targets our triceps. A little bit here. But on this one, I really want you to get that shoulder blade squeezing back. All right. Let's do a few more. Sawing the log here. And just like with the band, control that release when you're coming down. Okay. And good. All right. So for our next one, we're going to finally get to sit down here. And this one we have done before. This is the seated knee extension, holding on to the weight with your feet. Now, if you're not comfortable doing this with the weight, that's okay. But I want you to try as good as you can to hold on to the weight with your feet. We're sitting all the way back in our chair here, and we're just doing a terminal knee extension, holding on to that weight, slowly coming up. Great work for your quads here, and particularly for a little guy called vastus medialis oblique, VMO. Often targeted by physiotherapists right after knee injuries or knee surgeries. It's kind of this little guy right in here. All right, So the reason this is called a terminal extension, keep going if you can, or take a break. I'm going to switch to side view here so you can see. Because we're just working in the end range of motion here. So you can see I'm not extending a huge amount. The degrees of which I'm going through isn't very drastic, and that's okay. We're getting good work in through here, and these guys on the inside are really having to activate. Even with this little weight that I have, sitting nicely back in my chair, and extend and control the release. Good job. Okay, while we're sitting down, we're going to do some nice seated shoulder press here. So again, be careful with any kind of overhead work. We're going to use both of our weights. We're going to start them off right kind of on top of our shoulders. We're going to be pressing nicely up and coming on back down as good as you can. And again, if this overhead work is not comfortable for you, just take a break. You don't have to be super far back if you can't get there. And we should start to feel that warming up pretty quickly. Focus on your shoulders. Make sure that you're not starting to compensate into this crunched up land here. Our posture is nice and open. That chest is open. Your shoulder blades are nice and back and down along your spine. And we're coming up and on back down. Up and back down. Try and control that. Nice and slow. Okay, couple more. And last one. Okay, good. We can put the weights down. Let me just check my list here. I should really put it closer to, yeah. So we're gonna get up and do our tricep work. So again, just using one weight this time, and we're going to be in that same tabletop position, but this time, instead of having the weight down here, we're gonna start off with the elbow tucked nicely in towards us, all right? And then all we're gonna do is straighten that elbow, bring that weight back. So you see how important it is that my elbow stays nicely pinned to my side there, and I'm not swinging back like this, okay? It's not that. Elbow stays tucked, pure elbow extension, control the release. All right, nicely back down. Slow is better. Feel that little bit of a shake, feel that burn. You know, I've injured this tricep before. It's been over 10 years and I can still feel it when I do these really targeted tricep movements. So be careful. And back. Couple more. And last one. Switch sides. So whereas before with the row we were starting down here, this time we're starting with the elbow tucked, and we're going to straighten back and come on down. All right, remember our rules or guidelines for resistance exercise for your intensity is that the first few repetitions should feel pretty easy, and by the last few repetitions you should be feeling some fatigue in through that muscle, maybe a little bit of a shake, maybe a little bit of a burn. Remember to keep it slow and controlled. All right, keep going, couple more. Back is nice and straight. And one more for good measure. Okay, good job. So we're going to sit back down. And Actually, I'm just going to use one of these. The next ones that we're going to be doing are our abdominal work. So the first one we're going to do is a little bit of a twist. So with most of my abdominal work, I'm sitting forward in my chair a little bit. I'm going to kind of cock the chair a little here so you can see better. Now with this one, we're going to do a twist. So I want you to hold that weight in your hands, and we're going to engage the core and semi-recline. Now I want you to actually keep your heels on the ground if you can, and we're going to just keeping my back nice and straight. We're going to twist and touch that weight to the pocket and twist and touch to the other pocket. Slow and controlled and semi-reclined. All right, so I'm sitting fairly far forward in my feet. I'm semi-reclined. If you want, you can do this with just one heel on the floor. We're going to twist and touch, twist and touch. Notice how my back is still nice. Keep both feet on the floor. Or if this is really easy, you can try bringing your feet up, but it's pretty tough. I would rather you guys keep your feet on the floor and touch. And we're focusing on quality of movement here. Notice how this weight is staying very much in front of me. I'm not just using my arms to do this. All right, I'm trying my best to keep this weight in front and twist my torso to get there. All right, and after we do a few, try and stay nice and semi-reclined here. After we do a few, we should really start to feel that working in through your obliques, in through your core. All right, nice and open through the chest. Having the video here is a good reminder for me as well. And touch. Remember to breathe. Touch and touch. Good job. Couple more. Feeling that starting to burn a little bit. And last one. Good job. Make sure you're breathing. All right. Last one that we're going to do here is our tuck and press, which you guys have seen before. So again, making it a little bit easier, you can just be a little further back in your chair or even leaning back in your chair. To make it a little harder, we're going to be a little further forward in our seat, and we're going to be that semi-reclined. All right, so we're going to tuck and press. Tuck and press. Okay, keep going. Press. Try and stay nice and engaged. Tuck and press. If you feel like you're starting to lose your back, take a little bit of a break or come a little further back in your seat. Again, you can even be sitting back, all the way back for this, and just try to tuck and press. That might be hard enough for you. That's okay. Tuck and press. Try and stay nice and engaged, nice and tight in through your tummy there. If you can do the harder version, come on out forward in your seat, semi-recline, tuck and press, and tuck and press, tuck, press. Good job. Keep going. Remember to breathe. Tuck and press. Tuck, press. Couple more. Tuck and press. Last one. Press. Whew. And remembering to breathe, feeling that work in through your tummy there. All right, so that's all we're going to do with our weights. Let's stand on up and do some balance work here. So, just like before, we're always checking in first with our tandem stand, which means standing heel to toe, nicely on our line. I like doing balance exercises in the kitchen because that kitchen counter is a nice spot to save me. All right, and we're going to, if you can, do just less and less fingers on your surface, on your chair, on your counter, and see how you are just in here. All right, and see if you can transfer your weight to the front foot while keeping your hips nice and steady, and transfer on back, transfer forward again. That back heel is staying on the floor and coming on back. Switch feet, heel to toe, nice tandem stand like that, and even in through our hips, see if you can let go, and we're coming forward, we're coming back. All right, try it again. Hips are staying nice and even, both feet are staying flat on the floor, and coming on back. All right, so let's find our one leg stand if we can, if you're comfortable. If you're not comfortable with the one leg stand, stay in tandem, that's fine. And try and see if you can do less and less hands. And take a look at your hips. What's going on with your hips? Are you hiked up? Are you sunk down here like I am? Stand properly with both hips engaged. So you can see here I'm cocked like that. I'm going to engage this hip a bit more and straighten out my hips. All right, check out your leg. Are you able to come up with that leg? How are we here? Now, keeping hips straight. Try bringing that knee out to the side as much as you can. Staying engaged here. If you have to have a hand helping you, that's okay. Bringing that leg back forward and coming on down. Let's do the other leg. All right, finding our one leg stand. Checking the hips first. Make sure you're not tilted like that. Activate in through here and straighten out. Put your hands on your hips and see where you are, okay? Nice and straight. Now, leg, whoop. Your other leg is nice and loose. We're going to, keeping hips straight, bringing that knee up. Hips are straight. Knee comes out to the side. Try holding. All right, you need help here, that's okay. And bringing that knee forward and back down. Okay, so we're going to finish off with our stretches before we actually do our seated stretches. We'll do our calves. So planting this back heel, leaning into that front leg. We're going to stretch our calves nicely here. Most people are all very tight in through their calves. Try and keep this knee relatively straight. That heel stays on the floor. Switch sides. Heel stays on the floor. Back knee is relatively straight. We're just leaning into that front leg. Notice I've got a nice wide stance here. If you're too close, you're not going to feel too much of a stretch. Don't be scared. Use that chair for balance. The kitchen counter is great for balance. You can use a wall, but don't be scared to do a nice big step. Try and keep that heel on the floor and switch sides. All right. It's actually really difficult to find shoes that don't have even a little bit of a heel rise on them. Most athletic shoes even have a fairly significant heel rise from the back compared to the front. So even that little bit, even if we're on fairly flat shoes, you know, we're not wearing high heels, even that little bit of a heel rise on regular footwear, it really tightens up our calves over time. A lot of people struggle with cramps in through their calves. A lot of people struggle with plantar fasciitis that can be a byproduct of tight calves, lots of stuff that a calf stretch is good for. Okay, let's sit down and stretch out our neck here. So hand behind the back, ear gently to the shoulder. Nice and relaxed there. Big stretch in through the neck. Okay, and other side. A lot of people carry tension and stress in through these upper trapezius muscles. Other side. When you're doing these on your own, you can think of a 20 to 30 second hold. Maybe go a little quicker than that here in class. But a 20 to 30 second hold and repeating 2 to 3 times on each side. Okay. We're going to do a little bit of a stretch for our upper back today. So I want you guys to hold your hands in front of you. You're going to push forward, and you're not going to hear me say this too much, but I want you to think about grounding your back here. So we're really pushing those shoulder blades forward, and you're going to tuck your chin into your chest and feel that big stretch across your upper back through your shoulder blades. All right, stop, roll those shoulder blades back and down, and we're going to do it again. Hands clasped in front. We're going to push forward and roll forward and bring that chin down to the chest and feeling a big stretch across those shoulder blades. Making sure you can still breathe here and relax. And let's bring those shoulder blades back and down. Roll them back a few times to reset your posture there. Okay, let's do our twist. We're going to do a nice twist from our seat all the way to our crown, making sure we're working that shoulder check movement. Other side, getting the chest involved here a little bit. If you can reach for the back of your chair and open up that chest a little bit as well. Other side, looking over your shoulder as far as you can. And the other side. Okay. Nicely done. Good. Let's stretch out our glutes. Ankle onto knee. We're never forcing or pushing this knee down. Sitting very nice and tall. Hinging forward. Good posture is very important here. I'm going to turn to the side here as we switch to the other side so you guys can see. Ankle goes onto knee. We're going to sit very nice and tall and just hinging from the belly button forward a little bit. Staying nice and upright. Try curling a little bit and just trying to bring kind of your nose down to your foot. You can see how we lose that stretch completely when we don't have good posture. Let's do the other side. Ankle onto knee. Sitting nice and tall. Hinging slightly. Really feeling that nicely through the glute and the side of the leg. Some people feel it on the inner side. And remembering, of course, if you've had a hip replacement, this is not necessarily appropriate. Other side, ankle onto knee. If you feel any kind of stabbing joint pain here, just wait until our next stretch. All right, feeling good. Open through the chest, hinging at the hip. Last one, we're going to stretch out our hamstrings. So just planting that heel in front of you. I like to sit fairly close to the edge of my seat. Heel planted in front of you. Engage the toe, sitting nice and tall and hinging forward again. We're never bouncing our stretches, so think about that when you're stretching on your own. The classic example is the guy trying to touch his toes and he's bouncing to get there. It's a recipe for injury, and we are not going into that in our class. So, other side. You guys, of course, don't need to be twisting back and forth here. I just want you to see what I'm doing. Plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting nice and tall, hinging at the hip. Thinking about this kneecap drawing up towards us, making a muscle with this leg. Sometimes that can help with that hip hinge. Okay, on the other side, plant the heel, engage the toe, sitting tall, hinging forward, very open through the chest, and we're thinking about hinging from that belly button. Nice big pull in through the back of the leg and into the foot. And some people are very flexible through their hamstrings and find this doesn't do anything for them. If that's the case, then that's okay. Just sit and take a water break. Heel, engage the toe, hinging forward. Good. Our last one here. Okay, wonderful. So again, thank you for coming. Stay safe, stay healthy. Hope you guys are doing good. I'll catch you next time. You can find me here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. New videos will go up at 1 o'clock, just like class. Once they're up, and you can watch them anytime. So take care. I'll catch you next time.